Okay, hi all, welcome to Service Finding Operator Weekly Call. Today is September 9th and we have few agenda items and announcements. Maybe Prithviraj, you can start with the announcement and then I can move on to the first topic.
I'm just want to announce that this week we merged important PR, which was about protection against privilege escalations, and with that, in the previous PR done by BAMA, which was about reducing the permission of the service account used by the operator. We are starting to go into the next release, 0.10. We are still waiting for one bug fix to be merged, which was recently reported as a urgent issue by the people who consume service binding on Best Sandbox. And with that merge, hopefully this week we're gonna release 0.10 next week. So we're gonna start that process today, tomorrow, depending when the bug fix gets merged, and then continue throughout the next week.
Yeah, there is a small thing also that CRD API display name also going to be fixed.
Yes. No, well, exactly. That's one thing. So there are a couple of other like cosmetic changes as well. Hopefully, well, given that we have a bit more time and it's not really so urgent, so there is also Jasper is working on updating the operator description, which is packaged together with the operator in the bundle and then rendered on the operator hub when you browse the operators, and on the OpenShift when you kind of browse to the operator hub as well. So if this gets into that version, fine. If not, then it's gonna come in the next one. My idea is that the 0.10 is the last version before going GA. And I would also, in the release notes, I would like to announce it like that, so that people are aware that the next release should be GA. Yeah, and not sure. And yeah, that's what I want to announce.
Yeah, I mean that sentence should be written like not a definite thing, most likely in that way, right? The GA thing, you are going to write in such a way that this most likely the next version is going to be GA, right? Unless we need to come out something else, unless we come out some other bug or
Yeah. I mean, are you all okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just
yeah, I also say like most likely not.
Yeah. Unless we have something that really comes up, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the reasons why I want to release now this one, to get early feedback if that new security stuff we added there is causing any issues with anybody, so that we can actually understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
okay. Then good. I'll start with the first topic. So this is something we already discussed in one of our meeting when Sri asked few questions about.
Sorry, but you just like since we kind of discussed this, like I would like to ask if you can modify the last bullet point, last version before GA, so make it like probably last.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please feel free to read this. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a topic that we came up, when writing the documentation. There was some question from Sri also regarding the mount path. Okay, let me open the document and I'll show you. So we have two ways actually to specify where the bindings data should be projected into. So historically, when we start, this is a historical reason why it happened this way. When we started this project, there was only one approach, that was using an attribute called spec.mountPath. That was the way how we specify the mount path where the binding should be projected into. Later, when we adopted the spec approach, spec has a different way to specify the binding root path. That was they had an environment variable called service underscore binding underscore root, and this must be present in that application, and we are going to take that value, and that is considered as the location where the data is going to be projected. So what we did was we combined this both approaches. We come up with a solution in such a way that we can consider this mount path as well as this environment variable. So this is the kind of combinations that is possible right now to decide where this binding data is going to be projected into. So yeah, so one of the problem that I feel is that this particular thing is itself is a complex to memorize, or yeah. Another problem with this one is that some of the challenge a practical problem, that is this for sorry yeah, this scenario, third scenario where where we have a binding path specified and there is no service binding route set. It is impossible to set the binding route path, and why it is going to make a problem is most of the libraries, okay, whatever that I wrote, that Python and other existing libraries, even the Quarkus and the nodes, the other from the other middleware team, everything is looking for this particular environment variable to identify the bindings thing. So that means that these libraries are not really expecting a special path without this environment variable. So that means considering all these things, we proposal is to drop this spec binding spec.mount path altogether from our implementation. Anything else, Radrag? Is that summarized?
Yeah. No, thanks, Baju.
So what will be the mechanism now to configure that?
To service binding root environment variable.
Okay. Yeah.
So that means we are only supporting the spec approach, not our own old approach.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Predrag,
So,
you're fine with that?
Yeah, actually, that was the question I raised in one of the recent discussions on our stand-up. So I'm kind of, it's confusing. First of all, when you look at this table, it doesn't look clear at all immediately. You need to spend some time thinking about, so what are the implications of that? Not sure if anybody is using that. I was asking around and didn't hear anything about that. But even if they do, they can easily switch to the spec approach. I would say it's not a big deal. So you're gonna get either you're gonna through service binding root environment variable, you're gonna know where to look for things.
And there is a fallback location in case if the service binding and when root is not specified, it's going to be under slash bindings. Yeah. So
Right.
okay, I think then decide. I mean, we are going to.
I mean, Stefan, you're okay with that? That if we drop it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we decide to drop it. Okay, we need to work on a PR, and before GA will do, right? I mean, I hope it would be easy to drop. Okay. Yeah. So then I want to just give few updates. Maybe those who are not actually following the spec recently. So one of the important PR got merged. I just want to highlight that. Let me open the spec stuff. So this is already merged. That was regarding this one. I mean the API group. That means now the new API version becomes servicebinding.io. That is the API group, and we on Alpha 3. So this one got merged. That means question is, do you? I mean, this is also going to become a task for us before GA,
Definitely.
including that new API group.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So we need, if you can, please create an issue in our repo about this task.
Okay.
And so
Yeah. Okay.
and target it to the GA model.
Okay. I'll mark this for thing. Create a ticket to drop. Spec. Okay. Then create a ticket to support new API group. Okay, group. I hope all changes will be straightforward. Yeah, I think there is no other major change. Okay, now the remaining thing, the only other PR major PR that need work in this spec, my opinion, is this one. That Scott is still working on. There are already few discussions waiting for his update on that. I also added some comments, and I can see Predrag also.
Yeah,
reviewed.
this is something which is still not merged, and to be honest,
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna take some time probably. And
Yeah.
given our time frame for GA, I'm pretty sure we are not going to deliver support for that in the first GA version, and this is going to come.
Yeah.
But this is
Right.
very advanced option
Yeah.
anyway, so we have time to add it in some later follow-up versions, say 1.1.
Yeah, actually, there were some questions, and some people who are waiting for this kind of things from this John Poth. I don't know whether he's in the call. He was asking about that, and I can see probably his manager, Heiko Brown, also recently pinged the same thing. Whether when we are going to bring it. I told that
Okay.
responded. So I
Yeah.
mean, this would be fine, right? We'll just wait for this to complete.
What we can do about it? So if you want to support the spec, so we're gonna wait until the dust settles.
Okay. So and then we're good. I guess let's hold for now. Okay. Okay, that's all related to spec thing. You can move on to Predrag. You can take up the next topic.
Okay, so in the middle of the summer, OpenShift Consul UAT approached us with a feature they are working on, and basically they want to have a way to detect, or like at least to get from the cluster information which services are bindable, and then they would like to display those services in topology view so that user can drag and drop, bind services to an application. As a result of that, so we discussed the possibility how service binding operator can inform clients about which services are bindable. In the very first phase, we would like to add that kind of thing will be really preview features, so nothing which something for GA stable or robust, but just initially to enable Consul team to work on this in a better way. So we're gonna introduce additional custom resource where we're gonna simply list all the custom resource definitions or custom resources kinds which are potentially bindable. How this is going to really work in practice. So we're going to watch for CRDs which are installed in the cluster, and then try to find on them service binding annotations, or on CSVs. Or we're going to also try to see if that CRD has a particular field for referring secrets. And if in some of these things are there, so we'll consider that instances of that CRD is potentially bindable. And we're going to have that kind of list exposing to in the cluster, and then UI and the other clients could use that list in order to further look into given namespaces if instances of such CRDs exist, and then they can do whatever they need to do for their use cases. And the second step is, which is going to come after GA, because that kind of implementation requires more careful performance testing and performance analysis. It's going to be to dynamically add watches on the instances of given CRDs and perform the similar checks, annotations, and so on. And then to introduce additional custom resource, which will just mark that as bindable. This is the approach which is already used by other projects. Knative, for example, they have this kind of duck type abstraction where they kind of discover resources which are Knative bindable, so to say, and they have similar approach. And I talked to the API server team inside of the OpenShift, and they point me to even to some discussions there. So what would be the best practices to implement and so on. With that, we're gonna actually really cover all possible scenarios. So we're gonna enable users to detect all possible services which are bindable on a real instance level. But this requires careful design because we're gonna start watching for more resources. So therefore, we need to have some performance analysis, performance benchmarks before we really release that in a while. So therefore, and since we have just only one sprint left to the GA, this is going to come after in the next GA version.
Yeah, I remember there was some question from the UA folks regarding something related. Is that related?
Yeah,
they are
that's
waiting for
related.
something.
That's the first one single cluster scoped resource, keeping the list of CRDs which are bindable.
Okay, that means
easy
that's
to
going to be
solve.
part of the GA, or
That should be part of the GA release. Yeah.
but the other ideas that you suggested will work slowly, right?
Will come after
After
1.0 version. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because especially I remember we had problems with watching too many resources
Right.
early, so
Right.
the performance impacts.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really into mood to release GA, which will have very bad, like suddenly bad performances, like huge resource consumption suddenly. So far we were like doing great. So I would like that we keep doing like that, and therefore, given the tight deadline for this, and it's not really blocking them because they're gonna improve themselves when we have something more. So it's not really, it's more, this is something which is going to target 4.9, and 4.9 is coming out when?
October, I think.
Yeah, October, meaning the end of October or something.
Something.
Yeah, okay. So then we're gonna even have like enough time to do the proper work and be ready when 4.9 is out there.
Okay. I think, okay, Steven, is that a question that you written there? Does it work with services deployed on other things?
Yeah, so I mean, imagine that I have deployed my database using a Helm chart, and then I am putting the annotation to the database. Will the discovery mechanism going to catch
If
those resources as well?
If you didn't, well, I can hardly imagine that you can use regular deployment to expose all the interesting information. That's the kind of drawback of the regular deployment resource. And if you're using some custom resource describing your database, then certainly yes.
Okay.
On the regular Kubernetes resources, unfortunately, we don't have enough places where we can practically embed all the important data. For example, if you want to make a provision service referring a secret, you cannot do that in the regular deployment because you cannot really modify this. You cannot add additional field on the status part. That's something which deployment schema doesn't allow you. So this is more for the resources which are custom CRD based, so to say.
Okay. And
but we could think about maybe some other mechanism like later on. But initially, this is going to support CRDs. So if you deploy CRD and if you deploy your deployment like that, I mean, chances are then that you're gonna discover this, definitely.
Okay, got it. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, I think if there are any no more points, I think we can move on to the last one. Steven, you can talk. registry of all well-known services.
I can talk. I like this.
Mhm.
So yeah, I wanted to know where we are on this with the registry of well-known services and how this is going to look like and where you are on this. And what needs to be defined if we have not yet defined something. So maybe we need some demo scenario for that.
Okay.
So just to kind of throw this out there, I know, I think Steven, we've been working on a documentation to kind of capture some of these details.
Mhm.
And I'm looking for a project to help here to clarify, based on the information that's there, right, that we have available today, right, do we have any services that can fit this registry, or that can fit this mold in terms of what we would need to do to make something like this happen?
So what I went through this document this week, and my comments were in many places. So we need to have in this document the real annotations which can be applied to research. And if we cannot come up with such annotations due to whatever the limitations, then that particular service and operator is not ready for inclusion in that registry, so to say. And that.
Sorry, so I know that the team has also made some updates since yesterday, right, with some of these details.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you had a chance to take a look at that today.
I didn't have it. Maybe we can go together to this with the changes. So what are the updates then?
Okay.
I mean, people in the know what's going on.
Yeah,
Right?
Baiju, maybe you can present and share.
Okay. Okay. Where is the document? I need to. Can you share
Yeah,
the
let me
link?
send you a link.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I got it.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go through the list in the top.
Okay. Yeah. So for at least for one operator, these are the information we captured. That is one annotation like this, service dot binding. Okay, this API. Oh, even though, okay, just now I remember something. Even though the API group got changed in the spec, we are going to still continue to use annotation in this format, right? We are not going to change this thing to service binding.io or anything.
Up to, well,
Yeah,
I
because
think
this may
it
be
would
already
be
people start using it.
clever
And that,
to update it as well.
yeah, but again, that will be more disruptive because maybe already there are annotations, people already using it. And I don't see any, annotation is mainly for identification purpose. And we don't really need to sync up with the API group, that really not necessary, in my opinion. So we could continue to use this unless there is
But I would say we go do it before GA, like update it so that it is same everywhere. That's kind of my vote.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is going to break then too many people. And
Yeah.
for example, gonna break UI, gonna break audio, and gonna break plenty of
Okay.
consumers.
Yeah.
And as to the Baiju's point, like this is just a prefix. It needs to be unique enough. And I would
Yeah.
say we can keep it like this, and then later on maybe introduce some smoother, smarter migration, for example, to like accept for some time 2 prefixes, and then later on to now dropping and so on. But like in this last sprint to do too many things once, I find it dangerous. I mean, the last sprint should be more about packaging planning, maybe like polishing some wording and things, and not really doing any major unexpected things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I just noticed while talking about this thing. Okay, so let's move on. So let's keep this for now. We'll handle that. Maybe somebody please make a note of that. Maybe we can consider it in the future. Okay, I'll add it.
So just, I think I'm not clear here, because the requirements is not about having a documentation. The requirements is about making sure that when service binding operator is getting deployed onto a cluster, it has a set of services that are well known that
Yep.
can be used directly. So how are we going to handle that?
No, but look, but this was first, the
Okay.
first thing is research to understand,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go through the list of things and collect needed information. So, and what's important to know, like, what are the annotations we will need to apply on that research is once we detect this. So first we need to do this kind of work to understand if we can apply some annotations and make service automatically bindable. And so, like in this case, Redis operator, so the finding is they're like, what, two,
Yeah, but when do we start the next?
after after completing this work.
And you already know how to handle the technical solution?
Yeah, roughly, yes, yeah. So we're gonna basically watch for CRDs, and for given CRDs, we know now CRD belongs to Redis operator because group API version itself. When we see that available in the cluster, we're gonna apply on that CRD given annotations, and from that time on, all the instances of Redis CRDs will become bindable.
Okay, so that means currently, see, for example, in our access, what is it called, the role, we only ask for read, I mean, list, those things, right? So we might need to add write also, because to update the annotations, those kind of changes. Will be
No. This is something which operator will do. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
we're gonna update them. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that means,
But let's go to the list first.
yeah. So, okay. So we have captured the Redis one. I'm going to update this Redis enterprise that I described here. Today itself, I'll make these changes. So these are the annotations for the Redis that I identified. For Mongo, not yet
Okay,
started.
but sorry, Bashu, can you also write down there what is the resource group version kind where we need to apply this?
Okay. Yeah, okay, 1 second.
And that would apply for all the other operators as well, right? So we would need to know this information.
API group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So that is Redis, and Redis has 2 operators, by the way. MongoDB also there are 2, both not yet started. MySQL we identified how many?
So Baiju, let's go through this one at a time. So basically, for Redis, you need to update this, and please complete that for tomorrow, right? Or basically after this call, if you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah. This
And for the
thing is done already, so I need to change into this format. That's it. Okay.
thank you. So let's go to Mongo. So that one is still in progress. So that's still work that needs to be done.
Yeah. And this is in review. So
is that one still open for anybody to take?
Yeah.
To own that particular investigation?
No, Mongo, I'll continue. Is that okay? Because anyway, I hope I'm mostly done with my.
Yeah.
The Mongo will continue myself.
Okay.
Postgres I given up for now. I mean, anyone can take it.
Okay.
So binding annotation for MySQL, I think this Bama updated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Actually, I didn't add the host here because host is generic. Like it is by default to the local cluster because it is deployed using Node port. But other things are added.
Host be available in the port status.
No, not that line. Yeah. So actually, local host should be the host here for the whole cluster because this operator is deployed using Node port.
No, I
So,
don't think that will be reliable. There should be some kind of service or something like that.
yeah, so if you go below, yeah, so the
Oh,
service name is,
oh, sorry. Oh, this is annotation.
mm,
Okay, that means you need to yet to update this section, right?
no, no, I didn't get.
No, which
So,
is annotation? Oh, this is annotation.
so these are not available there. We need to add it. That's why I
Oh, okay,
added
okay.
it in. That's why I marked it as not supported by default.
So when you say not supported, as in like we can't support it and we won't be able to find it, or as in like this operator
No,
is
we
not
can
supported.
support it. Yeah, we can support it, but it is not supported by default. Like now, it is not ready for service binding operator.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Right,
so
right, right.
like just for your understanding, there are a couple of variables there. So you cannot really have a static fixed annotation which works on for anything. So you need to know like here service name or something and so on, and which is then not really feasible.
Okay,
in
got
that
it.
sense.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's surprising why they're not providing a service. I mean, Kubernetes service. I mean,
They are providing one service. If you see the second point there, changes to be performed. Yeah. So the service name is, yeah, cluster name hyphen primary, like whatever you do. So they provide a service where you can fetch the target port for the service binding slash port, and like for host, it should be any host in the cluster.
so there is a service, and we don't need to use port or anything. I mean, we can use the service name. Is that service name available?
We can use
That's
the service name. Yes, service name is available, but for connecting to MySQL, you need a port as well, right?
yeah, port or yeah, if it is not the default one.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
that means
they are using node port there, so it's not the default one. We need to fetch it from the target port.
Okay.
okay, that's strange. Okay, yeah, that means that need little more clarity on exactly how they're exposing that port.
So basically, what you're saying that for this particular service, it is not. We cannot set up bindings for it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
By default, we cannot. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, without making some changes. Okay.
Okay. In the operator itself.
Yeah.
Or in the.
Yeah,
Okay.
in operator itself. And
Is
same
this
Let's
open
move
goes.
on to the
source?
next one.
Is this open source? Right?
This was open source, but now they have moved everything to Swedish IO1 where it is read only. So
Oh,
not
that
much
means
more maintained.
so the only thing is we could hope that they're going to support it. Yeah. Okay. The Percona, that second operator for MySQL.
Percona MySQL, it's like kind of ad hoc. They have some secret setup, and you have to go manually change it and update it to make the operator running. So it's not in a safe to fetch the details directly. So if you see that, like I like explicitly added this secret because it is not defined anywhere in that operator. Like there is,
There are two things. There are two Percona.
yeah, one is for community, one is for the marketplace.
Oh, but that I thought it would be same, no?
It's the operator behind is same, but Jasper said if it is two, then add two. That's why I added both of them there.
But there is no technical difference as such. I think we could
No,
mention.
no. There are no technical differences.
So
Then I
even the
think we
API
just
group in kind is also the same as well between the two. If that's how we're looking to identify the uniqueness of it.
No, I didn't check for the API group.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
my,
Yeah, please add that. Good to include that.
yeah. If it's I think it will be same. That's my hope. Then let's keep a single entry, but we can mention like there are two, one from marketplace, another open source, something like that.
Sure.
Because all information will be same, so there is no point in
Yeah.
keeping it two things, right?
I'll add the API group and kind as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
I just mentioned there. Then next one is Postgres. That one of them no, Postgres I haven't started. Actually, one was part of the documentation effort I completed. I'll mention that here so that those who are going to pick up, they can pick up the another one.
Yeah, please pick them up as you go along, and we need to get these things
Yeah.
done. So
Yeah. Okay, Elasticsearch annotation.
CockroachDB, same thing too, right? Is another service that needs to be updated as well,
Yeah.
right? So Elasticsearch. Yeah.
Okay. Elasticsearch. Who did they, Andy, you did this, right?
Yes, that was me. In summary, there are two operators that I found on both Operator Hub and OpenShift Operator Hub. One, I think we should support. We do need to we would have to make some changes to it for it to correctly use SPO. For more details, it's under the changes we need to make section. The other operator, it's a very specific operator meant to be specifically used with OCP logging and Jaeger, and it's not supposed to be used as a general purpose Elastic cluster, so we shouldn't support it. We shouldn't go out of our way to add extra support to it and like file our own PR or anything like that.
The OpenShift one, right?
The first one
Yes,
is
that's the second one.
Yeah. So I was also reading the same thing. Jaeger like takes the data storage from Elasticsearch.
okay. I remember while we're talking, one of them is providing a cluster, not really a instance of that Elasticsearch. Which one was that? The second one.
Second one. That one I said under my assessment we should support it.
Okay. OpenShift. Oh, you had a talk to another Red Hatter, right? You got any response from that person?
No, I have. Well, I was just. I don't think I need to get a response from them because I just going off of the description, going off of what the project, the way they're kind of taking the project, they don't intend it to be used as a general purpose Elasticsearch cluster.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to the visit the first one for a second. Like, do we have all the information we need in order to be able to proceed with this?
To the best of my knowledge, which admittedly has some gaps, yes.
For drag 7, this is
Well, I will need to take a look at the document in more details and to understand if these annotations are applicable. But given that we didn't actually perform research on a couple more things, like what is Postgres and CockroachDB.
No, sorry. I mean for this Elasticsearch operator itself, that Andy is referring to or speaking to. Does it have everything that we need for this particular one?
I'm seeing some variables like container. What is this?
This is a dynamic one,
reference
the container.
secret services.
Yes, yes.
Well, that's the thing. So you said like if you put reference to the secret in the status, and you cannot do that because I mean
Yes.
schema doesn't log you that. So then this is off the table, I would say.
Yes, we would have to change that part. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the annotations we need to now are really they work out of the box, applying them on CRD. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But then we need to stay so. So it's not, and that's the very first thing we need to know now to understand. So which services can be added to that registry? Everything else is fine. What we discovered that we need to improve here and there, but this is then the future work for us or for somebody else.
So basically, the assessment for this particular operator is that we will not be able to add it to our registry that we're talking about right now, based on what we're seeing right now. Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah.
But then it means needing support. Like so, simply I'm seeing their support, which is not. So
Yeah.
like
No.
So let's update that then.
Okay.
And make sure that's clear.
Yeah. So
Yes.
basically, my observation is that anywhere we can statically refer these attributes or values, then only we can keep an annotation. Whereas if this completely dynamically generated, locations where we can identify this username, password, or port number, etc., then it will be difficult to, create an annotation.
Yeah, let's move on.
So
Okay, but this is how it
Yeah.
is. Like we just need to kind of know what current state of the things and
Yeah.
what is missing so that we can improve later on, either by submitting
Mhm.
our PRs to the other reviewers or talking to them and say, hey, could you do that, and so on.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. So logging
Jagger.
Jagger, somebody worked on or
Yeah.
not, right?
Jaeger I'm
No.
working on. So yeah, I could not find the application binding detail yet, but it is able to pull the logs from applications. Like I can get the logs in the Jagger operator. So I'm working on it. I'll update it as soon as I find.
Okay. Grafana we dropped.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else who are on RabbitMQ? Is that
Andy.
okay?
That was also me. So far, this is the only operator I've been able to find. I'm going to do a bit more research on that just to confirm that.
Okay.
My understanding is they do need to make some changes to right. Hold on one sec. Yeah, it isn't located on Operator Hub, which is really strange. You sort of have to apply CRDs directly from their GitHub repository.
Okay.
By my understanding, a lot of their stuff would be simple to add annotations, and stuff should work. I haven't tested it yet, just to confirm.
Okay. So
Okay.
how you are connecting to this RabbitMQ? Is there any CLI or a client library?
There's a bunch of libraries. In particular, I've just been using the Python library that they kind of ship.
Okay.
Okay, so in this particular case, yeah. So what you're saying is that you need to. So you don't know yet what the annotations are. You're working on investigating that.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. I think that's all in our.
Okay. So it looks like we have a few items that we need to update, right? Kind, API group, and as well as just updating the assessment of whether or not it is applicable to our service registry, right? So please make sure that you can update that for your various services that you have, that you own, as part of this investigation, right? Just please make sure to make those updates. Okay.
Yes.
So
And
yeah.
Predrag, you mentioned that if they are not supporting or difficult to support, so when we approaching this backing service creators, are we going to recommend the spec approach, that is creating a provision service, or these annotations?
I would recommend provision services
Provision service.
because
Okay. So
then
we
it
don't
is
have
the
any.
last headache for us, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think then this kind of problems will not be there, because even if it is dynamic or whatever way they is generating, as long as there is a single reference to that secret, I mean the provision service, we are good. So yeah, I think that's a better direction. But meanwhile, we need this thing, annotations. Yeah. Okay.
So it looks like we don't have two. So based on what I'm looking at from the list right now, it doesn't look like there's too many that we've been researching so far, right? That is actually supported, or that we can support by default out of the box.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, one thing that I already completed, that remember that my quick start, as part of that, okay, is that okay? Yeah, this particular one, I mean, okay, quick start is not here, sorry. Yeah, it is the PostgreSQL one. I was able to make it work, but there was a catch again. That was annotation is not sufficient. So that means even if it's there part of our registry, we cannot make it work, because apart from this annotation, it also requires a direct secret reference. That is a challenge I found. So how do we tackle? I mean, that means
Yeah,
basically
but
we cannot.
that's a different. I mean, you do tweaking on the service binding itself. So,
Yeah, right.
and yeah, I agree. Maybe in some cases you would need to tweak the service binding as well. So, the question is like how far we would like to go with that. Of course, we could also introduce some logic to modify service binding on the fly and add missing stuff, but I would say this is way dangerous because then suddenly user will kind of be surprised to see more things in the service binding than, I mean, it's possible, of course, but it's then more question to how far we want to go and what Seven wants to have as a user experience. So if we don't have, if I would say, if we feel that this operator is crucial for whatever business or businesses, right? And we can do this kind of magic, but probably is better to submit the PR on their side or like talk to them and convince them to
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I
adjust.
think, yeah, that would be a better thing. I started reporting couple of issues as part of this. There was some in the spec community. There was some discussion going on about the 1 second. Create implementation specific. Yeah. So, oh, sorry, I don't remember. Fine, where is that? So there was an issue somewhere. I lost that one. Where we discussed to approach these various, backing service orders. So like that, we can approach if it is open source. It is easy. We can create a standard issue in their backlog, and maybe we can give details about the spec and how they can do it. That part we can start working on. Maybe post GA. Yeah.
So Baiju, like you did some research on Postgres, or I was thinking to take it up. Like,
No, no. This particular operator, what is the name of the Crunchy Postgres operator, which is we were able to make it work, but with some tweaking in the service binding resource. That's what I'm saying.
okay,
So that means with just with annotations alone, we cannot support it. We need some extra tweaking. So whether do we need to do it depending on the importance of that one. That's what Pradag is saying, right? So.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, please continue to investigate the other services. Steven, he's stepped away. Let's take a look to see what we can actually do with it based on this information. I suspect, and looking for your thoughts, Predrag, the managed Kafka and the database as a service, they would already be, we should be able to connect to those automatically, right? I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, they do something.
They do
so I
something.
assume that they are kind of, but again, so it would not be bad to talk to them and see where we are.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
Okay.
first of all, given that we didn't actually didn't went through all the, operators we want to go, and given that the findings, so not really sure, so it makes sense to publish a registry with just 1 or 2 entries.
Yeah. So that we're looking for Steven to help us with that prioritization and determination. So, okay. Okay. So I think
one question. Sorry, quick question. So that managed Kafka, are they going to use annotations or they're going to provide a provision service? Any idea?
It's a provision
As
service.
far as I know, they use annotations because provision service was not there when they started working. I don't think they moved to provision service, but I mean, might be wrong.
Should
But
we aim to get them a provisioned service?
Well, I think it has benefits for them as well. Yeah, but again, I wouldn't go and talk to them without having user guide here, which was gonna demonstrate what provision service is and so how to create that and so on.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
So I think it's all. I don't know whether
So,
your time is
but
up.
just to confirm for you,
Yeah.
right? You're working on MongoDB next. Which ones are you doing after that?
I will complete the PostgreSQL one. Yeah, that already done. Maybe I'll just complete that also.
I think Bama might be. But please talk with Bama and coordinate between the two of you because has some interest in doing Postgres as well.
Okay, then
Right.
please.
So if not that, maybe like do something else. There's a few
Yeah,
more that we
sure.
need to be done. So
Yeah, I'll pick up something else from the list.
please let us know what updates you've been able to complete, because especially for the existing ones, let's make sure that the assessments and the templates are completed and filled out. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all the topics for today. Anybody else has something to say, or we'll wind up now?
Nope. Sounds like we're good.
Okay, good. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.